Thanks for being here. This is Lubbock's First News, visiting with Leslie Timmons with Voice of Hope. Now, Voice of Hope is formerly, Leslie, Go ahead.
Lubbock Rape Crisis Center.
Okay, I just didn't want to
Yeah.
take that out of order.
I like the new name,
Yeah,
Voice of Hope.
It's very positive.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. We rebranded in 2012 because we really wanted to project a more positive image to the public and our victims as well. So.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you've got this event coming up. It's on the 18th, yes?
Yes.
And it takes place downtown around the courthouse?
At the courthouse, at the Lubbock County Courthouse.
All right, now, it is called Walk a Mile in Her Shoes. Tell us about the event and how people can get involved in it.
It is our 8th annual Walk a Mile in Her Shoes Men's March, and we want men to come out and march and use their voice to speak out against sexual assault. You can go online and register at voiceofhopelubbock.org, and it's $30 to register, to pre-register. On-site registration is $35, and you get the use of the shoes, and we have all sizes. So
they don't have to come with their own shoes?
No,
Okay.
we provide the shoes, and they return them, and we clean them up. But we have up to size 17, so no excuses that we won't have your size. We will have your size.
They make women's shoes in size 17?
It's actually a men's, it's a men's size 17, a women's size.
It's made for a man.
Yeah,
But it's a heel.
it's a heel,
Gotcha.
4-inch stiletto heels. And
Where do you get those at? Like Cross-Dressers R Us or what?
there's a
I know, I was so not into that whole world right there, and it was like, oh yeah, I guess there would be a need for shoes that size.
Yeah,
Heels,
these actually are made specifically for the march, and they're reinforced, and they're a little bit wider. So.
Probably have steel in them and stuff.
Yeah, but they do wear out. But you can register on site the day of the event, and that's $35, and you get a T-shirt, and then afterwards we have a cookout and we feed you. So it's a
nice.
fun event. Yeah.
Now, this is a fundraiser to help.
Yes, it's our only fundraiser, and the funds 100% of the funds that we raise stay in Lubbock in our service area, and we use the funds to provide services to sexual assault victims, sex trafficking victims, and it all stays in our community.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah.
I didn't realize this was your only
fundraiser. Yes, ma'am.
Wow,
we
very
do
important for people to come out then and support this.
Yeah, we do a lot of other events, but it's mostly training events. So we just concentrate on this one fundraiser.
Wow. So you guys, do you guys operate off grants as well too, or?
Yes, we're grant funded through the Attorney General's office, the Governor's office, and victims grants.
Yeah, but that doesn't always cut the mustard, does it?
You don't, and usually victims grants are the first things to be cut, as far as the state and federal government. So
What?
we do, yeah.
Why?
Yeah, who knows? We don't always know.
Because those decisions might be made by people who were never touched.
I always think
by
the
this,
perpetrators
perhaps.
should be the last ones to get cut, or the first ones to
Right.
get cut.
Right.
Wow. Wow. That I did not realize that those were the first funds to get cut.
Usually,
that's
yeah.
shameful.
It is.
That's really shameful.
There's a lot of need, in the world, of course, and in the United States. And so, funds are limited for these kind of things. And we struggle. Everybody struggles. All nonprofits struggle, basically. But it's important to us to raise as much money as we can to have a kind of a backup system for us if we don't get our grants.
What do you see as the biggest way to combat sexual assault and sex trafficking? From a prevention standpoint.
Well, from a prevention standpoint, we really need to reach children at a young age to teach them healthy relationships and boundaries and emotional self-control, because a lot of the kids that I speak to have no idea what a healthy relationship is supposed to look like and how we're supposed to treat people with respect. So our prevention really kind of, instead of teaching people how not to be victims, we want to teach people how not to be perpetrators. And so we talk about, we want to reach kids at a young age to teach them respect. And so maybe it will never happen.
Right. So what do you do to make that happen?
We go into middle school and high schools and talk about, we have, different curriculums that we talk about, and we try to see the same kids all over and over again, because you can't just talk to a group of kids one time. And so we try to talk to kids several times and, just have conversations and curriculums, and we watch DVDs and have group exercises over, all the topics.
I just wonder what it's like, excuse me, when you're addressing these kids, on a repetitive basis, and then you recognize and realize that a kid finally gets it, that this is not normal. That what they're living
not
in is
acceptable.
not, that's not normal.
Yeah.
Because the biggest problem is the environments that a lot of people grow up in. That's all they know.
That's all they know.
And they're not comfortable being in another environment. If it's not turbulent, if it's not always a roller coaster up and down. I mean, it's just it's life.
Yeah, and when they have that aha moment, that kind of makes my job worthwhile. Because I know I'm not going to reach all the kids, but if I reach one or two, then that makes it worth it.
Absolutely. Well, this is a worldwide problem. I just read a story about an Afghanistan woman who was raped by her cousin's husband and then forced to marry him and bear his children in order to not be just tossed out of their society.
Right.
I mean, that's pathetic.
Yeah,
it's
it is.
absolutely pathetic, and that's happening all around the world.
And her husband signs off on this?
Her husband is her rapist. She had to marry the guy. She was forced to marry him after he raped her. Anyway, and he's still married to the cousin. Oh, yeah, still married to the cousin,
Yeah,
too.
the cousin threw me off.
got
The
two.
Beverly Hillbillies thing
No.
threw me
They all
for a
live
loop.
together. But what, we think of these things happening around the world, but these kinds of things are happening right here in our own city. And that's why it's so important for Voice of Hope to be there for women who are victims and to try to do this prevention. Thank you for what you do.
Hey, we'll be back visiting with Leslie Timmons, Voice of Hope. Good morning. Right now, 6:58. Tom and Laura talking with Leslie Timmons, Voice of Hope, and their event is coming up on the 18th of the month. It's at the courthouse. It's called Walk a Mile in Her Shoes. Real quick, give us a synopsis of the event and how people get registered.
You can register online at voiceofhopelubbock.org, and that'll be $30 if you pre-register. And then the day of the event, you can register starting at 9:30, and that will be $35.
Is this a men-only event or women welcome to
No,
participate?
women, everybody. Bring your dogs. We have a hydration station for dogs. We have dog bandanas. Everybody's welcome.
Will first aid be available?
Yes, we have UMC ambulance on standby. Yes, we
Okay,
do.
so if
What are
people...
you thinking? For blisters on your foot?
Blisters and stuff.
Oh, we usually have nursing students wrapping feet too. So.
Do they do that before?
Before,
do
yes.
people get taped up before they walk?
Yes.
Well, it's for a very good cause. I hope you have a great turnout. If you want to see statistics about rape in Lubbock, go to voiceofhopelubbock.org. It'll make you a believer that we need to do something.
Hey,
Got to do something.
We'll have you back next week before the event, okay?
Okay.
All right, thanks for
Thank
coming
you.
in.